A Coach bag retails for $400 and resells for $40 a year later. A Hermes Birkin retails for $12,000 and resells for $25,000 the same year. Same shelf at the same luxury department store. Same word designer stamped on both. Completely different financial outcomes for the woman who walked in with a credit card. Designer bags are one of the only things you can buy that either appreciate like a stock or evaporate like a balloon, and most people have no idea which side they're on until they try to sell it years later and realize the bag they paid $800 for is worth $80 on the secondary market. Today we're exposing 5 designer bags that are silently destroying your money, and 3 that quietly make their owners money for decades. Same brands you've heard of your entire life. Same boutiques. Opposite outcomes. The bag at number 1 might be the most aggressive value killer in the entire industry, and it's hanging in millions of closets right now. Let's get into it. Before we name brands, you need to understand one thing about designer bags, because it's the rule that decides whether you're buying an asset or buying a liability. Designer bag resale value comes down to 4 things: brand demand, supply scarcity, build quality, and cultural staying power. Get all 4 right. The bag holds value or appreciates. Miss even one, and the bag drops like a rock the second you walk out of the boutique. Most designer bags miss all 4. Real luxury bags hit all 4. The price tag tells you nothing. A $500 mass market designer bag and a $5,000 entry-level luxury bag can be sitting on the same shelf at Saks. 5 years later, one is worth $50 and the other is worth $4,800. Same money in, completely different money out. Now let's name the brands silently destroying your money. A Tory Burch bag retails for $300 to $700, looks polished on the shelf, comes in beautiful packaging, and gets pushed hard in every department store in America. Here's what nobody tells you. That $500 Tory Burch bag is worth $40 to $80 on the secondary market within 12 months of purchase. Tory Burch produces bags through standard luxury OEM contracts, mostly manufactured in China and Vietnam. The leather is mid-grade, the hardware is electroplated brass, and the construction is competent but not exceptional. None of that is necessarily bad until you compare it to the price tag. The brand's pricing strategy is built on perceived luxury rather than verified luxury. The retail price says premium, the materials say mid-tier, the resale market says neither. eBay completed listings tell the whole story. Used Tory Burch bags that retailed at $500 sell for $50 to $90, often less when the model is more than 2 years old. That's an 80 to 90% loss in value, and it happens within months, not years. You bought it because the boutique made you feel like you were buying luxury. The market knows you weren't. You're paying $500 for a $50 bag with a Tory Burch logo. That's the entire pricing model. This one's worse than Tory Burch because the markup is bigger and the brand betrayal runs deeper. Michael Kors bags retail from $250 to $700. They look luxurious in marketing photos. The packaging screams premium. The advertising positions them next to Chanel and Prada in glossy magazine spreads. The reality is far less glamorous. Michael Kors bags are mass-produced in factories in China, Vietnam, and Cambodia. The leather is often Saffiano-coated split leather, a lower-grade leather treated with a plastic finish to mimic the look of premium hide. The hardware is plated, not solid. The lining is polyester. But here's the part that should hurt. Michael Kors used to be a real luxury brand in the late 2000s. It was positioned as accessible American luxury, sold in selective boutiques, and held meaningful resale value. Then, the brand expanded aggressively. Department stores, outlet malls, airport gift shops, By 2015, Michael Kors had gone from luxury aspiration to mass market, and the resale market followed. A $400 Michael Kors bag now sells for $40 to $80 on the secondary market. That's an 80 to 90% loss, and the depreciation curve is brutal. Most bags hit their resale floor within 18 months. You're paying $400 for a bag that lost luxury status the day Michael Kors opened its 50th outlet store. The market has moved on. The price tag hasn't. This is the brand that built a generation of designer bag buyers and then quietly destroyed every one of their investments. In the 1970s and 1980s, Coach was the pinnacle of American leather goods. Hand-cut, hand-stitched, vegetable-tanned leather sourced from the best North American tanneries. A Coach bag from that era was a generational purchase. Many vintage 80s Coach bags still sell on eBay today for $200 to $500 because the construction and leather quality were genuinely exceptional. Then, Coach went corporate. The brand was acquired, expanded, and pushed into outlet retail in the 2000s. By 2010, Coach was selling more bags through outlet stores than through full-price boutiques. The leather quality dropped. The construction became more automated. The brand became ubiquitous. A modern Coach bag retails for $200 to $600. The same bag sells for $30 to $100 on the secondary market within 2 years. The leather is no longer the legendary American hide that made Coach famous. It's now sourced globally and treated with synthetic finishes to keep costs down. Here's what makes Coach particularly painful. Older Coach owners who paid $400 for a bag in the 1980s could resell it today for $300 to $500, sometimes more. Newer buyers paying the same $400 today will resell for $40 to $80. Same brand, same name, same retail price adjusted for inflation. Completely different financial outcome based on which decade you bought in. You're paying for a logo that used to mean something. The market remembers when. The brand pretends nothing changed. The brand started as legitimate high fashion and then watered itself down across multiple sublines until none of them held value. Marc Jacobs mainline retails for $400 to $1,500. Marc by Marc Jacobs The Diffusion ran $200 to $500. Both lines were marketed as designer luxury. Both lines now sit on the secondary market at brutal discounts. A $700 Marc Jacobs bag bought new sells for $80 to $150 used within 18 months. That's an 80 to 90% loss, and it's worse than most fashion brands at the same price point. The reason is brand dilution. When a luxury house operates multiple sub-brands at different price points, customers lose the ability to distinguish between the real luxury line and the diffusion line. The brand becomes confused in the public mind, and confused brands don't hold resale value. Clear brands do. Marc Jacobs also had a high-profile creative shift when the founder Marc Jacobs himself stepped back from the brand. The design DNA changed. The collector base shrank. The resale value collapsed. You're not buying into a luxury house. You're buying into a brand that doesn't know what it is anymore. The market knows. Your wallet finds out 18 months later. Now, before we get to number 1, the brand that quietly destroys more wealth than every name on this list combined, let me tell you something that's about to flip everything you thought about designer bags on its head. Because the next 3 brands don't just hold their value, they make money for their owners. And once you see the numbers, you'll never look at the bag aisle the same way again. This is the most aggressive value killer on this list, and it's the one most likely to be sitting in your closet right now. Kate Spade bags retail for $200 to $500. They're sold everywhere: department stores, outlet malls, airport kiosks, online flash sales. The brand has been licensed and distributed so widely that Kate Spade no longer means anything specific. It's a font on a bag tag. A $400 Kate Spade bag sells for $25 to $60 on the secondary market within 12 months. That's a 90 to 95% loss in value, the worst on this entire list. Why is Kate Spade so brutal on resale? 3 reasons. First, oversupply. The brand pumps out new collections every season across multiple lines, flooding the market with bags that have no scarcity value. Second, material costs. The bags are made primarily from Saffiano-coated PVC and polyurethane, synthetic materials with virtually zero resale demand. Real leather holds some value. Plastic doesn't. Third, brand prestige collapse. Kate Spade was acquired by Tapestry, the same parent company that owns Coach. Multiple acquisitions and rebrands have completely diluted what the brand once stood for. The original aesthetic is gone. The original quality is gone. What's left is a name on a synthetic bag. You're paying $400 for a $25 PVC bag with a Kate Spade tag. That's the most cynical pricing operation in mainstream designer handbags, and it's why this brand sits at number 1. 5 brands. 5 different ways to lose 80 to 95% of your money. But 3 brands flip the entire game, and one of them might literally make you money. The 3 brands that make you money. Louis Vuitton is not the bag for collectors looking for double-digit appreciation. But specific Louis Vuitton bags hold value better than almost any non-Hermes bag on the market, and a few quietly outperform their retail prices. The Louis Vuitton Neverfull retails for $1,710 to $2,200, depending on size and material. On the secondary market, used examples consistently sell for $1,200 to $1,800. That's a 15 to 30% depreciation, and it stops there. Owners of 5-year-old Neverfulls are routinely selling them for what they paid, sometimes more. The Speedy 30 and Monogram canvas retails for $1,700. Used examples sell for $1,300 to $1,600. Same story, minimal depreciation that holds steady for years. The reason is brand equity. Louis Vuitton is the most recognizable luxury brand in the world. The Monogram canvas has been in continuous production since 1896 and shows no signs of going out of style. There is permanent global demand for these bags from buyers in every major market. Scarcity isn't engineered the way Hermes does it, but demand is consistent enough to keep resale strong. Louis Vuitton isn't an investment in the strict sense, but it's one of the few luxury brands where you can wear the bag for years and recover most of what you paid. That's the definition of value retention, and at the $1,700 price point, that matters. The Chanel Classic Flap Medium in caviar leather retails for $11,000 to $12,000 brand new. On the secondary market, used examples sell for $8,500 to $10,500. That's a 10 to 25% depreciation at most, and many sellers actually break even or come close. Some Chanel flaps actually appreciate. Limited edition colorways, vintage examples in good condition, and specific seasonal releases routinely sell for above retail on platforms like The Real, Vestiaire Collective, and Fashionphile. Chanel's strategy is similar to Rolex. The brand raises retail prices every 6 to 12 months, sometimes by 5 to 10% at a time. Each price increase pulls the secondary market up with it. A Chanel flap bought in 2018 for $5,000 is worth $9,000 to $10,000 today, simply because the new retail price is $12,000. The construction justifies the demand. Diamond-quilted lambskin or caviar leather, hand-stitched with Mademoiselle interlocking CC clasps, finished with 24-karat gold-plated hardware. Every component is engineered, sourced, and assembled to standards that have been refined since 1955. A Chanel flap bought today and worn for 10 years will likely be worth more than you paid. Almost no other consumer product does that consistently, except Hermes, which is exactly where we're going next. The Hermes Birkin retails for $12,000 to $25,000, depending on size, leather, and hardware. On the secondary market, the same bag sells for $20,000 to $50,000. That's a 30% to 100% premium over retail, and the premium has been growing for over 40 years. The Birkin isn't a bag, it's an asset class. A Birkin bought in 1985 for $5,000 is worth $30,000 to $80,000 today, depending on size and condition. A Birkin bought in 2010 for $7,000 is worth $25,000 to $40,000 today. The annual appreciation rate has averaged 14% to 16% over the past 35 years, outperforming the S&P 500, real estate, and gold over the same period. Why does the Birkin appreciate? Because Hermes deliberately produces fewer Birkins than the market demands. Walk into a Hermes boutique today and ask to buy one. You'll be told you need to develop a relationship with the store, which means buying tens of thousands of dollars of other Hermes products before you're considered for a Birkin. The wait list is unofficial. The supply gap is permanent. That artificial scarcity creates a permanent secondary market premium. Buyers willing to skip the relationship building process pay 30% to 100% over retail to get the bag immediately. And those secondary market buyers can resell years later for the same premium or higher. The construction justifies the price even before scarcity. Each Birkin is hand-stitched by a single trained artisan over 18 to 25 hours of labor. The leather comes from the best tanneries in France, hand-selected hide by hide. The hardware is solid 18-karat gold or palladium, not plated. The bag is built to last for generations and be passed down, not worn out and replaced. A Birkin isn't just a luxury bag. It's a Swiss bank account with a leather strap. Buy one today, wear it for 10 years, and you'll likely sell it for double what you paid. No other consumer product does that consistently. The pattern, 8 brands. One question, will this bag be worth anything in 5 years? 5 answered no. 3 answered yes, and 1 answered more than you paid. Tory Burch, Michael Kors, Coach, Marc Jacobs, Kate Spade, all destroying 80% to 95% of your money the second you walk out of the store. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, preserving or growing the value of every dollar you put in. Same shelves at department stores, same designer label, completely different outcomes. How to tell before you buy 3 checks before you spend $1 on any designer bag. 1. Check the secondary market. Search the bag model on the RealReal, Fashion File, or eBay sold listings. If used examples sell for under 30% of retail, the brand has a value problem. If they sell at or above retail, you're buying an asset. 2. Check the materials. Real leather, solid hardware, and hand construction hold value. Saffiano coated PVC, plated brass, and machine-stitched construction don't. 3. Check the brand's outlet presence. If the brand has dedicated outlet stores or factory sales, the resale value will collapse. Real luxury brands, Hermes, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, never have outlets. That permanent retail discipline is what protects resale. 60 seconds of research, thousands of dollars saved. What this means for you the next time you're standing in a boutique deciding between a $500 Coach bag and a $2,000 Louis Vuitton, do the math. 5 years from now, the $500 Coach is worth $50. You lost $450. 5 years from now, the $2,000 Louis Vuitton is worth $1,500. You lost $500. You spent 4 times more and lost almost the same amount of money. Except one of those bags you can actually carry for the next 30 years and still recover most of what you paid. Some bags carry your stuff, others carry your money. If this changed how you look at designer bags, subscribe. We're breaking down every category, what holds value, what destroys it, and which brands are quietly building wealth versus quietly extracting it. Drop a comment with the brand on this list that surprised you most. I read every one. Next video, we're going deeper. The shoe brands quietly losing 90% of their value the second you wear them, and the rare 3 that actually make their owners money. You won't want to miss it.